exciting. PvZ on circuit breakers. I've heard from both Protoss and Zerg players that like this map and players that don't like this map for PvZ.
And in the bottom right, in the yellow, it's diggurd playing Zerg for Team Mech and Cheese, and the top right, it's Szini in the red for Team IKEA Build Orders.
All right, well, I will answer that question for you. Do I like this match for PvZ? No, not even a little bit.
I agree with Sate completely.
Because one of the big things that'll end up happening is the map seems reasonable enough, but Zerg can easily get more gas bases, and because of that double bridge outside of your natural, it's hard to move out onto the map. If Zerg starts putting that Hydra pressure on and you're on that defensive, it's really hard to break out of it.
Yeah, I think the way you have to look at it is there's sort of a TVP type dynamic where Protoss has their bases bunched together in like a narrow area so that it's not too hard for their army to run around and defend. And Zerg wants to spread around so that the Protoss has to roam over more and more territory to try and deny bases. So on a map like Circuit Breakers, where there's at least 4 gas spaces at the orthogonal directions, as well as all these mirror onlys, there's a lot of opportunity for Zerg to expand. I'm intrigued that Szini is not scouting south first, because you know the rush distance is shorter. And if it's an unpull, you want to know about that first, right?
Well, yeah, usually I've heard that if you're Protoss... Well, I guess the way I think of it as Zerg is that usually Protoss wants to scout in the same direction that the Zerg first scout would come from, so that if Zerg gets the first scout, then you do too.
Ah, that makes sense.
And diggurd is going to go for... no, that's an overpull, not an unpull.
Yeah, overpull.
I do like double scout, by the way. I'm a fan of double scout.
You have to know. You have to know before you have to decide how many cans you're buying. Like, such important information, because you don't want to make them and cancel. Like, that's really, like, just slowing things down for no reason. Kind of defeats the whole purpose of trying to eke out every advantage you can. Now, you can see the no hatchery there, but saw the drone moving down, comes down in time to see the pool not being finished, knows it's overpool, should be enough. And one cannon, while it's not all what you really want to do, should be enough to defend this. And I think Zane could be a little greedy from here, go straight for that Nexus as fast as possible.
I think diggurd probably quite happy with this, getting the Nexus down unmolested. Why is that drone coming back? Was that scouting?
Oh, that was a scouting drone, yeah. Oh, okay. And the Overlord has seen the wall, so he can just bring that back, because he's not going to do anything with it.
Fair enough. Well, he's going to scout the main, though.
He's not going to do anything with the drone, yeah.
Oh, right, sure.
Overlord.
Yeah.
And having scouted the forge, he's only going to make 2 lings instead of making 6 lings. So that's good. It's taken his gas at like the 245-ish gas just before his 3rd hatchery. Which usually means like some kind of like 3 hatch spire, 5 hatch hydra type stuff.
Right, so going for the absolute bog standard then.
I mean, on a bog standard map from like 20 years ago, it feels like at this point we've seen so much circuit breakers. You might as well do that kind of build that was around back when it came out.
Yeah, circuit breakers is pretty old. I've definitely
I don't even know when it came out. Was Zerg's doing like 3 hatch spire style?
Yeah.
Was the meta at that point?
I think 3 hatch spire is very old.
Yeah, that's a pretty old standard build. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's back in like Bisu's savior kind of days old.
I was thinking way back then when the maps were whack as hell, and you know, Zerg would be on like one base with Protoss building cannons outside that one base. And these are pro games I'm talking about.
No, not that old. Not like we don't know how to play this matchup.
Like
old.
2000. This map's from what? Like 2009, I want to say.
Yeah. I thought it was old as Sage was making it out.
Not 2002, but.
Yeah.
If this map was in school, it'd be like trying to go on dates right now. It's pretty old. Like it's pretty old, man.
Hey, look at this diggurd making sure he blocks the ramp. I like that. You don't want Protoss to be able to confirm that you don't have a Hydrogen in there. Nice. Stop that pro voice instantly.
It's trying to go on dates, but like to an ice cream shop, you know. Like,
they're innocent. They're innocent enough, but the point is there. That's like this is well established. You figured out what you want to be doing a little bit, so you're not just fumbling around.
The Zealot trying to get in here, I think more for a scout than anything else, but denied by that drone very nicely. Diggurd doing a great job here. And Falling's hot on his tail. I don't think he's going to get too much done here. There's no really good position to hide it here.
Well, it does the Zealot does stay around long enough to see Zergling's speed is complete, so that's some nice knowledge. And just trying to find some good angles to get as much damage as done as possible. Staying around the natural doesn't see any Hydras being made or anything, so even though they don't see the lair with the Stargate on the way for Protoss,
Oh,
and
he gets in.
oh really? Wow, this guy! It's even Zergling's speed. This shouldn't happen. This is
He's
such
a
a good
goddamn
spot for
hero.
Zenith. This is what you want from Protoss.
He
You're getting that
does
free knowledge.
Does see no Spire.
Well, it's
Oh,
at the
the
natural
Spire
right
just
now.
goes down. Okay.
Yeah, I think you can figure out that you're not under too much threat in that case.
That Spire seems a little late.
I think it got delayed just to make sure it wasn't in the main, so they would know the exact timing of it. Leave a little bit up to chance. Maybe there's like a hatchery or the Hydra Den at the third or some like weird stuff. Just trying to throw out as much deception as possible because that Zealot should never have gotten in there and gotten the info to begin with.
Yeah, but our first Corsair is already on the way, and the Spire's only about half done. This could be kind of dangerous. And I know it's a tight timing. I don't actually do this build myself, so I don't know exactly when your Spire is supposed to get down. It just looks
the thing is,
looks scary to me.
I think you are right that it's late, but the thing is, Protoss has to be careful. If they're hanging around and like the Scourge suddenly hatch, it can be hard for them to get away from them. So they don't necessarily want to just hang around and get every Overlord they can. The thing is, one Overlord is kind of fine. Zerg would expect to lose one Overlord anyway.
Yeah, I think I've heard from coaches and such. It's usually losing one Overlord repeatedly is okay, but losing like 2 or 3.
Not a Sunken, a Spore. That's very interesting. But now these Zealots kind of uncontested. Because I was thinking that was a Sunken and they wouldn't be able to do anything. But what does diggurd have to defend here? I guess drones are pretty good.
I mean, one of the things we saw from Zenith, the build order they chose, they got the Stargate, they started building Corsairs, then they started +1 weapons a little later than you are kind of used to seeing, I think. So that might have been enough to like make it a little harder.
Zealot is on 3 HP. That Zealot has killed 6 Zerglings. He does fall now.
Gonna lose both the Corsairs to the Spore too. He did supply block him for a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, I would
have
have
a
said
hard time spending his money, but not
I
for
would say
forever.
the Spore's not worth, but I guess if your opponent's gonna fly over the top of them, they're pretty good.
Yeah, if Spore kills 2 Overlords, I'm happy with that Spore.
That's the new meta build in ZVZ. You rush to your opponent's base, build a Spore, so they can't build any Overlords.
Exactly.
There's one Corsair hanging out at the bottom of the main, completely uncontested. The Spire got done. I don't remember seeing any air units, no Scourge, no nothing, right? Like, nothing got made from that Spire.
Yeah, nothing. I think it just wasn't in time. There's also no 5th hatchery I don't see just yet. Oh, there's it just goes down now.
At the third, yeah.
So that could also be... I mean, he needs to get his production up soonish. Because Protoss... Well, let's see, is Protoss adding gateways? Yeah, Protoss is adding a couple gateways.
Archives is extremely late, though.
Yeah.
When the Hydra swell comes, I'm worried that Szini won't actually be able to hold on here, because Storm will not be out in time.
Yeah, I mean, if you just make Hydras with all your available larvae right now, Protoss could be in some trouble.
I mean, that's PvZ in a nutshell, right? Protoss
Yeah,
makes Hydras with all their available larvae, Protoss is in trouble.
Well, not if Storm is on time. I mean, it's 8 minutes.
That's true.
That Storm should be almost finished by now. But the Templar Archive is actually just starting. I wonder if diggurd knows that. I mean, he can't have an Overlord in the base at this point, of course. He hasn't built Scourges for scouting either. So it seems
building now,
he might get away with it.
He will have the opportunity to fly it now if he so chooses. But oh my god, this Corsair playing with fire. I don't think he knows what neighborhood he's in right now. Oh god.
I mean,
Okay, I thought all 6 were gonna go kill it, but no, 2 will.
Brave Corsair.
Yeah.
Too brave.
yeah, not quite enough to get the job done. More Scourge being made just in
This
case.
is a lot of Zealots. We got 10 Zealots.
Yeah.
Slow,
My
but
God.
I mean, they don't need to be fast to kill your hatcheries.
No, certainly not.
Yeah, I guess, but they need to be fast to retreat from a bad situation. So
It's true.
speed
It's
is
true.
nearly done
Speed
though,
is
so it
about
should be.
finished, yeah.
Yeah, so it's not gonna be too bad here. Definitely opportunity to look around because you're looking like the SimCity's pretty decent at the third, but there's only 1 Sunken there. You look at that natural, there's plenty of units. I don't see any Sunkens. That 1 Spore are gonna help out a little bit. But really really, like this, if the Zealots really want to try to force something, I think there might be an opportunity. But Szini, being cautious, doesn't want to just throw stuff away for free.
I feel like the window is rapidly closing on these zealots because, well, here it comes.
That's
Here
a
we
decent
go.
SimCity there.
Yeah, it's gonna be hard to like get up on that sunken.
A good reaction to bring the Zerglings and Hydras down to help defend this. The Sunken not getting hit from too many Zealots, doing a lot more damage than it really should. And a lot of this attack from Szini not going the way he wanted to. Some damage being done, but not even really getting a lot of drone kills or anything. And this is, like, you trade a lot of your units on the ground that were going to, like, put you in a decent spot. But look at what we see from diggurd. Taking expansion at the 6, taking expansion at the 8, expanding all over the map. And when
Nice.
he's just lost your ground force, Zerg feels real nice about that.
He's got a drone hard though. He's low on drones. You can't
Well,
even
I
drone
think-
up all 5 of these expansions.
I think it makes total sense there because he just killed so many zealots. Protoss' offensive capacity is severely limited, and like, sure, you're kind of giving Protoss an opening to take their own third, but if you're getting up to 5 bases already by doing that, I think this is a pretty good play actually. Because
True.
counter-attacking is one thing. You'd be like, oh, I killed the Protoss army, let's flood Hydras and attack. But, you know, with the right storms, once cannons are set up at the third, you know, they can probably still defend. But if you expand, it's kind of foolproof, I feel like. Well, I
Looks
say
like
that,
he
but
can
look what's out on the
He
map.
can almost do both. 'Cause he's got quite a lot of Hydras here. I mean, this isn't a end the game number of Hydras, but it's a dangerous number of Hydras.
Look at that DT, though.
Yeah, it walked
He's
over
like,
some
"Hey, you
Underlords,
say."
but it walked
Protoss
under some.
expanding.
Yeah.
Yeah.
A lot of Zerg unit up at the front, though, and you can take a look. There's some Templars here, they have energy, but I didn't really catch it. Was Storm actually researched?
Yes, it was.
Storm was researched, yeah, it's finished.
Oh, that Templar, though! Oh, he gets taken out,
Don't need drones
There's a
if you
couple.
blow up your opponent's base.
right?
Good advice.
Ooh.
First Storm not doing all the damage he could, but there's one more ready to fire down behind it. Or no, just a little short in energy, I think. Actually can't do it.
Uh-oh.
Needs to buy a little bit of time, losing some cannons, take some damage up at the front. The Zealots trying to get in the mix, buy some time, but these Hydras doing pretty big damage here as both players try and take more expansions. Great Storm
Whoa.
there. Hydra's not
That's a
pulled out.
storm.
Big damage done,
Huge.
and that should help Szini hold on here.
The
Unfortunately, the
DT
DT,
did get
yeah.
cleaned up, yeah, on the back.
He ran into some drones ready to kick his ass.
Came to the wrong neighborhood.
And while this is going on, Szini's actually getting cannons at the third that diggurd doesn't know about. You know, those Hydras could have probably easily denied that if they weren't wasting time trying to get through this wall. I mean, that said, they're kicking those Zealots' ass for sure.
I mean, you're also saying wasted time, but remember, those storms got burnt out. That's not an unlimited
True.
resource. Cannons are getting killed. 2 storms going down. Doesn't do really big damage, and as these Zealots keep trying to force these fights and Archons are getting morphed behind it, like we're seeing pressure from diggurd trying to break through, looking like he's just on the edge of being able to do it, but might not be able to keep reinforcing. You see a lot of Hydras not involved in the fight outside the bridge. I think diggurd just a little afraid to overcommit and lose everything, but going forward now, going to keep putting the pressure on, keep getting more damage, but this does mean it's not drones being made behind it, it's still army.
Yeah,
This
these
damage
are all
needs to get done.
Hydras.
Oh, those storms, though.
The
Oh my
window
God.
is closing. Although, I mean, Zerg's up to 40 drones, but he needs more than that on 5
What are these
base.
drones doing? You see the drones on the left? Are they coming to join the fight?
Maybe
I hope not.
maybe just some miss rallies, maybe some
Seems like a
proxy
miss rally.
hatcheries, you know? Could be all sorts of
Yeah.
stuff, dude.
3
Give
at
me
once?
manor hatches. I don't think we've seen a CPL manor hatch in a while, at least. You know?
I feel like every game Arge plays, it's a mana hatch.
Well, it's not matter when it's Age, it's actually just Age.
Yeah, that's just his strat. That's him trying to win,
just
you know?
the strat.
Yeah. Alright, the drones are here. Hydra's continuing the offensive.
we,
I mean,
have,
he's...
we have manor hatch money. There it is.
Oh,
What? No, don't actually do it.
I don't think it is mana. I think he actually does want to set up the contain here. But the thing is, lurker aspect isn't even done, so I'm not sure this really works
Yeah.
about lurkers.
This seems. courageous, I guess. I think this is going to be very hard to actually hold this hatchery. But, I mean, Protoss doesn't have a lot of stuff.
I do like the idea of trying to set out the contain here. Like I was saying, breaking out over these double bridges is very hard. If you can keep control of this area, you have an opportunity to retreat to high ground, retreat across the bridges. And once lurkers are on the field, it makes it that much harder. And you're choking up all the production for Protoss that you can't counterattack.
You shouldn't engage these cannons, though, if you're trying to maintain a contain. Just sit back, get your stuff.
Well, the lurk is what he needs, right? That's the key piece of the puzzle here. The observatory's not... Oh, wait, no, it is finished. My bad, I was about to say a wrong thing.
Lurker aspect just finished?
Yes, that did just recently complete. We're seeing lots
so many Hydras rallying.
Yeah, lots of stuff being rallied. Now, there's still no exposure of this 12 o'clock. We see Szini very intelligently not trying to sneak some probes over. Just it's like he didn't find it. Let's hope he doesn't find it, and just trying to get as much as he can.
These little piecemeal engagements feel good for the Zerg for the most part. I mean, if it's not a big ball of Protoss, Hydras are good against it, unless it storms.
Or Archons as well get slaughtered by Hydras. We saw those other two Archons didn't really achieve that much.
So goons in small numbers, at least. Once you get critical mass, they're pretty good. Ooh,
oh, that's a great storm. But what does Protoss have to stop this? Really not that much.
I mean,
I'm not sure if Protoss is even going to really get to reap the benefit as this third base if he just gets stuck in his... If all his production gets stuck, right, then having the money to produce out of it doesn't really help.
The lurkers are out now. This becomes impossible for Protoss very quickly from here.
Well, you say impossible, but storms can make some magic to be done, and we saw this in the game before, where the opponent hit so hard to the aggression, so hard, but there's no economy behind it. You can see Zerg has that lower left base. There's nothing mining there. So if this attack fails and Protoss does break out, this could swing very fast in the direction of Protoss.
Zerg has 30-something drones. That's not nothing. That's enough to produce off of at least the hatcheries Zerg has, I think. Maybe not this hidden one, but you can make a lot of Hydras with 37 drones.
I think Zerg already has too many Hydras. The Protoss defenses are crumbling. No cannons left here. This lurker coming in. What does Protoss have left to stop this? Templar coming down the ramp with no energy. Coming down to his death, I guess.
No, get out of the Templars.
It's Grandpa Simpson Templars, and walked down, saw the Hydras. Nope.
Good reference. I appreciate that reference.
Oh my god.
The Templar has just enough for a storm, but the Hydras are trying to pick it off. Storming the gateway a little bit off the mark, doesn't get the damage on there.
It kind of worked. It was like a 1 pixel wide area all around the gateway was the danger zone, right?
Now that he's on the production, I think that...
Oh, and more Hydras just keep coming.
For Protoss.
Yeah, this is the Zerg Swarm, man. The Hydras just don't stop.
Yeah, it looks bad.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. Hard to figure out how Pro's going to get out of this one. Szini's going to agree. Tap out of game 1 here.
Oh, it looks like right at the end there, Protoss did get the base scouted, so maybe that was the kicker. It was like, okay, well, he knows I got this extra mining base now. There's no hope.
It's possible, but man, like that situation feels so bad when the Zerg's out of your base. Like, I got the money just to keep throwing stuff at you, dude. You're the one that has to survive, and they could just play their own version of the AI from the campaign. You gotta try to deal with it.
Yeah, all those little trades feel like it's good for Zerg. Like, it's hard to take an efficient trade against like a big old ball of Protoss, but if you can just keep getting, a control group of Hydras versus 3 or 4 Zealots, like those are very efficient for you.
I think a lot of that does go back to what we saw early on in that fight, where remember, like right before the Hydras really got on the map and started putting the pressure on, those Zealots went to the third, all got cleaned up, not enough damage got done. That just gave Zerp the map control they needed.
Hmm. Alright, in the 12 o'clock here, in the orange, we have diggurd up 1 game, and the bottom right in the red, again, it's szini, that consistent color choice. You love to see it.
Do y'all have a color you pick in game?
I do.
Pick one, I would pick green, but I don't.
Yeah, he loves to see it, but he doesn't cast his own game, so he doesn't give a fuck.
Exactly.
No, I'm purple. Unless my opponent picks something close to purple, then I pick orange or yellow. I'm so caster friendly. Like, it's just like bright, bold colors that you can't confuse with the map, and I don't try to confuse them with the opponent.
See, I have a color that I like, but I always host top versus bottom, so I don't worry about what the casters think. I figure if they don't like my colors, they can switch to red blue.
Well, that's just boring, man. It also sounds like you play black if you're gonna do stuff like that. It sounds like you play black.
I bet when it was still possible, you picked cyan and went with the the mineral color.
Oh no, I go for pink. I like the pink.
Oh.
But it can be hard to distinguish the pink from like the bluish gray.
By the way,
sometimes.
is this 10 hatch? 10 hatch
It does
coming
look
down
like
from
10
diggurd.
hatch, yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, you gotta walk me through this one, because I saw the extractor trick. I'm like, that's interesting. I wonder what's happening here.
So usually 10 hatch, you have not quite so good of an economy as other hatch first builds because you're banking all this larva all. Like, he's not going to use any larva for like a minute, but you have a lot of larva when your pool finishes, and so you can make a lot of zerglings. That, like, way back, like, actually, like, 2004, before there were Forge Fast expands and such, this was considered a popular build for Zerg vs. Protoss because you could get a lot of Zerglings, and you still took. I mean, you do still take your natural with it, so like you can get back out of it if the Zerglings don't do damage. But I feel like it's pretty rare to see anyone go for this build with the intention of macroing these days. I would expect that the plan is to win with Zerglings.
I mean, I like the decision on this map, though, because this is a hard place to wall for Protoss, something really... really consistently good. That little rubble on the left side we're seeing on this wall here, really going to get in the way of you doing the wall you want to do here. So I like the choice. I think this is a very intelligent planning from diggurd. I don't know if it was just based around like I'm 12, so I know it's going to work on some of these spawns. It's worth the chance, or if it was just pre-planned because of the map.
Yeah, I wonder way back when if it would have been better to go 12 hatch. If your opponent doesn't have a forge, what are they going to do? I guess if they one scout you, they can deny it.
These drones on the gas, this is killing me watching this. On a build like this, you cannot delay your gas like that. That is a heart. Breaker, the speed's gonna be so much more delayed, or whatever layer tech, whatever the choice ends up being for that, you delay that by a pretty significant amount.
You want to get speed and then pull off the gas, or at least that's how you do it in ZVZ.
that probe pretending it's a zealot in the choke point, like, oh yeah, come at me, bro, I'll take you on. But actually, they just walk past. But szini sees this coming now. But what's the reaction? A few probes being pulled, but I don't think it's enough. This looks pretty dangerous right now. And link speed is way off, but it doesn't really matter if you just kill the cannon at the front.
Yeah, you got 8 lings, 4 more on the way behind them.
That's not tight, forged to gateway horizontal, right?
I don't think so.
I don't
But you
think
can
so
see there's
either.
such an opening on the left side, trying to go through there. There is one in the middle trying to make sure nothing happens. But you see lots more lings on the way. I think you might be waiting for speed and trying to go through. Because especially Protoss, you tend to try to be like, oh, well, the threat is gone. I'm going to pull the workers now. And you can see the wall that was blocking this off getting a lot less strong. There's 2 cans here. Mazzini's checking out to see if he has an opportunity whenever that speed finishes.
Yeah, I have to say this wall setup does actually look pretty good as long as he keeps blocking that middle gap, which he's kind of neglecting. I think lings can fit through there. It's just a matter of is diggurd going to right click through and be like, oh yes, they can get in. Boom, you're there. That's all it takes.
Well, it looks like diggurd is going to attempt to drone up behind this. And so, yeah, I mean, this is the somewhat macro potential of this build is, you do have 2 hatcheries at 2 bases, so you can make a lot of drones. Looks like he's going to go for a quick lair.
Ooh, that was very dangerous. That Zealot poked out to try to punch some links, but the link speed was done. They could have just surrounded it immediately and took it out. And if you lose that first Zealot against an opening like this, that feels so bad. Now, there is definitely a gap in the middle there because the Zealot came out and went through it, and now there's nothing blocking that middle. But diggurd not really looking for some kind of opportunity to bust through just yet.
I think at this point he's happy just to have the map control. I mean, he's killed his opponent's scout. His opponent's got no idea what's coming. It's lair, so I mean, he could either go Muta or maybe like Lurker or something fun. Looks like
You've
it might
gotta
be Lurker. Putting down a
You've got to go
Hydrogen.
Muta in this scenario, right? Because Lurker drop's going to be like a bit expensive.
Well, the moment you
know.
said it, look what building got made in the main.
Oh my god.
It sounds like he disagrees.
Yeah, I guess so.
You got the Hydrogen.
No,
Yeah.
I love the decision for going lair. Like, if this is going to be fast lurkers, I love the choice because you pinned your opponent back. You, like you're saying, you kill that first scout. They have no idea what's on the way. And what are the 2 common openers you see from Protoss? It's Citadel or it's Stargate. Neither of those detect anything.
It's true.
Sure.
Corsairs don't shoot down, and Dark Templar don't see lurkers. So
But the complication is Protoss always makes cannons every game. I mean, whether they're in the right places or not is the question, I suppose.
true. There's a little bit of like an anti-synergy in that you probably your opponent's going to make more cannons when you go for a Zergling opener, and then you're going for lurkers.
Yeah,
And if they think
look,
it's Muta as well, they're going to
Yeah.
have cannons in the main just
Yeah,
the
but-
same.
you can look at the reality situation. What's hanging around over at that 3rd base that the Protoss would be taking later? What's being researched at that lair, you say? This guy's busting out all the tricks, wants to end this series fast at the 2-0.
But look what Protoss just made that is going to come up and be like, oh, what's this?
Yeah, I don't know about that.
I said it once. I said once to man. I'm trying to build a story. Let me build my story.
Look, I'm just personally like attacked that I was like, he should go Muta, and he's like, no, I'm going Hydra. And
So
I just want to be
this-
like, told you so.
This is rough for Zerg because we got 4 zealots out, which means he needs to at the very least keep these lings alive and probably make a couple more. But he also wants to make hydras so that he can make his lurkers, and he also has like no drones. So if he wants to play a longer game after this, he's going to want to make some of those too. And he only has 2 hatcheries to do all that with.
I
That's
mean, there
pretty
is a
difficult.
sunken up at the natural. I think if you retreat with some of the ground forces, Zealot's trying to come across to find damage will struggle to actually get that done. It's really what you're going to
Yeah,
do
but now
with
you got
this lurker.
slow hydras against zealots. That's
Yeah, I think szini perfectly realizes what he needs to do here, because as long as the Zealots just distract the Hydra enough for these Overlords to die, it's going to take a long time before Overlord speed is done for more Overlords to get over here, and more Corsairs are being built to deny that, so I think szini really doing the perfect counter to this, basically.
ooh, and he's going to get a supply block too, and he's just making zealots. This looks tough sledding for Zerg here.
Oh, even another Overlord under threat? Well, there are Hydras there, so... Oh my god, Corsair, run! Corsair, no! Corsair, no! Okay, he's gonna make it, he's gonna make it. Whew. Thank god.
I'm not really sure what Zerg does here. I might leave the game, but it seems like bigger than their plans.
He has a plan to do something.
Good on him, man.
Hey, remember, we're in that regular season now. You try to get that win until you know you can't anymore. This one Hydra, killer instinct, going for that Corsair. Now, Szini did cut Corsair production, rushing towards those Templars, and has enough gateways to build a halfway decent army. Already has an intimidating force on the ground moving across the map. And you see, +1 weapons also finished here. There's not a lot of ground forces, but lots of lurkers being made with no detection.
These overlords. There's no Hydras left to defend them. Oh wait, no, he can't.
He's gonna unmorph a couple.
Well, I mean, he probably needed to, because if he lost those 3 overlords, oh my god, no, Corsair! You made it out the first time.
Well, so the one thing he's got going for him right now is that like he doesn't need that many lurkers to hold his bases because his opponent doesn't have detection, and a couple of lurkers can hold a lot of zealots. So he's got time, but he's stuck on 2 base for the foreseeable future. Well, maybe he's gonna sneak this drone out. I think it's gonna get caught by that zealot though.
Yeah, he's hot on its tail.
There's even already a zealot at that base he's going to expand. So even if the zealot wasn't there, there's a zealot waiting.
Oh man.
Yeah, I bet the drones think as soon as I make it to this base, I'll be safe, and then look who's there.
Now, I love the move we're seeing from diggurd. He knows big damage has to happen.
Yeah.
He loads everything into these overlords that now have that speed upgrade, and most of the Corsairs got killed.
Yeah,
one Corsair.
Yeah, Szini's map hacking though, so like, what chance did he have?
Yeah,
like,
but
he just sent his Corsair straight up here, but Szini neglected to get much defense in the main, so even though he knows it's coming, I'm not sure what he can do, especially with no observers.
It takes a while for one Corsair to kill 5 overlords.
Yeah, this Corsair is literally just like phoning back home, like, guys, we got a problem. He's trying his best.
Plane that saw Pearl
Harbor well, these zealots are in position, but they can just keep flying, right? No cannons.
Ooh. Cannons being morphed, but not there yet. Oh, if the lurkers cancel these cannons, this could start doing really severe damage for the Zerg.
Oh my gosh, and there's nothing Protoss can do right now. The observatory's still not even started.
It's got to get the cannons before they finish, though. If those cannons finish.
Look on the right side. He's going to supply block Zerg again.
Oh, the cannons are finishing up. Yeah, the detection's just not going to be there.
As we have seen in many a cast, or me and Wizard in particular, I suppose, cannons that are just warping in are the worst thing in the game. They are useless.
That's true. I can confirm that.
Yeah, absolutely true. Trying to build more cannons down south, but it's negating all the mining at least. I think even if diggurd plays very carefully, keeps these in the base. At least forces that observer, which is on the way, the observatory down at the bottom. So this is going to do as much as possible, but still, big damage being done here. But still, back at home, diggurd, not a lot of workers, still on 2 base. Supply gap huge for Szini right now, more like a canyon between the two. And with that drop getting cleaned up, I think that was like the last attempt for something.
A supply canyon. Wow.
I was gonna say, I feel like, I mean, I guess Szini doesn't necessarily know this, but I feel like Szini could almost just aim move here, right? I mean, you have no workers, but what could your opponent have? He just dropped his whole army in your base.
Szini remembers these zealots up the top here? Oh yeah, well he'll see them now. Because they've just been chilling during this whole attack, I guess. I guess without detection they could.
They're on break, man.
Yeah, fair enough.
Union zealots.
They're taking. There's a vacation.
Hydra micro here, pulling back the injured ones.
Yeah, but I don't want to see sick Hydra Micro when you're behind on everything and floating 1K 1.5. Like, you need to be making stuff, getting your economy back up, attempting to take this 3rd base.
I want to see sick hatcheries getting put down at a 3rd. Szini, meanwhile, looks like he's trying to take his own 3rd, just going to wall up this the last remaining Nat.
Yeah, I think that's okay, good. Make sure the pros can't get to, or the Zerg can't get to that later. Wall it off now. Take control of it. Set up your bases for the rest of the game. Lots of lurkers being more in the middle field. The Zealots are going to come out here and spot it. They're going to try to take this fight before everything gets burrowed. There is an observer here, smartly being kited away from the Hydras.
Ooh.
7 zealots though, or seven lurkers is very bad for zealots.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna take out the hatchery though.
Ooh, no cancel either.
Yeah, honestly, that's worth it at this point to lose this kind of army. You got plenty of stuff back at home, but you slowed down that third base that the Zerg desperately needed. These zealots have done their job. They could retire to become dragoons in the next game.
Yeah,
Would anyone
we've
want
reached
to
the point
retire
in the
to
game where
become a
zealots are
dragoon,
free.
Oh, look
You
at this
wanna
DT.
advance
They
their
got it. There's
colonies.
no overlords. Look at this DT.
Oh my
Oh
god.
man, he has so few drones. They're all so precious. He can't afford to remake these.
It's such big damage. There's no detection here. All the overlords are up at the front against the army with the lurkers to make sure DTs don't clean that up. It's so hard to keep protecting them against both of these. Szini keeping the pressure on. We're seeing a couple lurkers trying to move forward to that natural to Protoss. There's not really detected here, not a lot of units, but still, it's like this is not going to do any kind of critical damage. I think it's just trying to slow down Szini whatever way he can to buy time, but without another base up and not a real worker count, I think this is kind of the beginning of the end. I don't know what to do as Zerg.
Yeah, 13 workers is not a whole lot, but he does have, I mean, he's got 4 hatcheries from which to make workers. If given time, he can make a lot of drones. I don't know if Szini is willing to give him that time.
He's going to clear up this attack. He's remaking some of those drones that DT's killed, but I don't know. I think as soon as Protoss gets like a big army together with an observer in it, he will come across.
I think if Protoss, yeah, once Protoss realizes how dire of a situation his opponent is
the
in,
Corsairs. This game definitely shows how good Corsairs can be. They've done a lot of work.
yeah, if they stick around for a while, they just pick up value throughout the whole game.
I mean, it's also shown how good lurkers are, because this game should have been over a long time ago, but lurkers are enough. Even with the detection, just having enough of them in a group.
Lurkers
can't really
let you stay in games, yeah.
Oh, he lost one Corsair though, but it's probably worth it given he killed 3 over.
I think so. His opponent's supply blocked now, so he can't do the power droning. And Protoss's third is pretty secure looking right now. Got some cannons up and the Nexus and everything, so...
Yeah, even a giant probe transfer going across the map, so Szini, well, going to be set up with that base over on the side. Still producing plenty of units, starting to finally switch over to that Dragoon production, help break against lurkers, help get some of that space. And there's an observer that sees this third hatch is trying to come down again. We'll see if it actually happens this time, but on the middle of the map, there's no units here, there's no high ground advantage or anything. It's going to be so hard to actually defend that.
So he doesn't have like a big balled up army anywhere that I can see, at least. Everything's all kind of very spread out, so if diggurd only has to fight parts of the Protoss at a time, he might have a chance.
Yeah, I mean,
if he has to fight all of them at once, I think he's done.
Oh, accidentally loading up a unit, unless it was... Yeah, analyze it. This third, I always say, is like a curse. If the Protoss takes this, they always lose, I swear to God. Not the Protoss, sorry, the Zerg I meant, sorry. The one that's taking right now.
Yeah. I feel like Zerg doesn't want to take this base unless you're in this position where it's just you're really behind.
I mean, even now, might the mineral only be easier to defend, I wonder? Because Protoss just swarming in here right now.
Might be, yeah, and he can't even afford to actually mine from his full gas at the moment anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, I think at the point though, yeah, diggurd tapping out. Series getting evened up 1-1. We see diggurd trying some wild stuff, doesn't quite work out. Excited to see what Game 3 is going to turn out to be.
Well, will Blizzard let us join it? That's the question.
Well, I just hosted up. It takes a little bit of time. And hey, this is the first time tonight we're going to see Shakura's Temple.
Oh, Shakura's Temple. I love this map.
Yes.
It's such a cool map. I want it to replace... Well, I want Polypoid to replace Fighting Spirit, and I want this to replace Circuit Breakers as just like the new standard 4-player rotational symmetry macro maps that we all play on forever.
No.
Alright, in the bottom right, in the peach, we have diggurd, and the top right, in the red, we have Szini. This series tied 1-1. The winner of this map takes it all.
Because I think this is a great map.
There's a lot of interesting 4-player maps. I don't think this is like it's interesting. I don't think it's like test of time will stay around forever like one of those kind of maps. I think it's cool for a while and then it won't be.
Oh, I don't know, man. I feel like it's got a lot to like. I mean, I think the lack of a center base is nice. I think the way that the high ground works in the center is just really refreshing compared to, like, I don't know, circuit breakers, I would say. Like, it feels like
Yeah.
there's a lot of terrain to be fought over outside the bases and not just like a big empty wasteland.
Yeah, I feel like it's not unlikely that some like massive imbalance will be exposed at some point, but for now it seems pretty good.
Now, so I have not seen games on this map. I have not casted games on this map. Is that like crackly part of the ground by the choke? Is that unwallable? Is this like another pain in the ass map to wall?
Is. Yes, this is a real pain in the butt to wall.
Hey,
So is this why you like this map? Is this why?
Hey, look, I'm a Terran. I want to build turrets all over that when I'm containing the Protoss base, and I can't. So
Yes, sir, player. Is this why you want this to be the standard map now? Because this wall sucks.
I mean, I'm like 1400. Everyone's wall sucks. At my
True.
the
That's
level
so
that I
true.
play, so I don't need the map's help there, man.
So it also stops Zerg from doing that strat when they get the hatchery near your base and start putting sunken and stuff.
It's yeah. Actually, this is painfully difficult to wall as Zerg versus Terran if Terran goes mech. But that's beside the point. Looks like we're gonna have an overpool from diggurd. So I guess game 2 was his like let's try something cheeky game, and this one will be just more standard. Ooh, just doesn't get the hatch down. That's the most annoying thing ever.
Ooh, yeah. Oh.
I'm not ashamed to
United.
admit that I've conceded to a probe before.
Ooh, yeah.
And the
I'm
pylon
right,
block.
too. Wow. Oh, loses the probe though. Does lose the probe. That's actually a fairly big deal.
That is big.
Yeah, but remember what we saw from diggurd before. Like in the first game, he only made 2 lanes. He tried to cut as much as he could. And you can see he's bringing some drones down, trying to fight this. Actually making 2 sets of lanes instead of just the 1 pair this time. So really kind of eating to the economy a little bit. The pylon doesn't cancel. Minimal investment doesn't really get anything too bad done, but does slow down the Zerg opening and buy himself some time to make sure that Nexus gets started. Doesn't have to overbuild cans or anything crazy.
So I've always heard from the high level Zergs that I ask about this, that when Protoss puts a pylon down at your nat like that, you're just supposed to like say thank you and go build at your third.
I mean,
Because,
that's
you know,
always
pylons aren't free.
that's always the response I don't want to see if I'm trying to really harass, and the drone just goes, fine, fuck this, walks off to the third. I'm like, no, come back, let's fight.
It looks like szini might have thought that something more exotic was coming. He's pulled a whole bunch of probes to block this wall. Maybe he just thought they were, or didn't quite get a good count on the lings and thought there were a lot more than there were.
I don't know
Well,
if
the
this
probe
this
died.
wall is not also great, because usually the gateway doesn't go below the forge.
Yeah. Should be just the opposite. Yeah, I think because his probe died, he just wanted to be super safe. He didn't know if some lings like went to the side or whatever and weren't seen.
Seems good. Well, in any case, looks like diggurd is not actually doing anything crazy with the lings, so probably just going to see standard stuff from both of them, I would assume.
Now
We've not seen anything crazy from szini yet in either game, right? Just like Stargate first.
Yeah,
do your stuff.
pretty reasonable Protoss openers across the board. I would actually love to see Hydra, like 3-hatch Hydra play from the Zerg in this map. Looking at this wall, this seems so easy to like chip away at with Hydras at no risk, with this gateway so far away from everything, where you'd have to put the cannons. Like, it just feels like you could really put some pressure on with like a 3-hatch Hydra, like do that kind of like 9-7-3. Put your opponents like, how hard am I going to commit to this? How much economy am I going to get behind all this? And really put the Protoss in a bad spot, because this wall, this is not what you would want to deal with Hydras. But we are seeing the lair instead. We're seeing drones behind it, so I think diggurd going to go maybe back to that 3-hatch Spire into the 5-hatch Hydra, the kind of stuff we were seeing in game 1.
Yeah, it looks like that's the right. He's got the lair, and that's the right gas timing for it. So probably just going to be a real nice standard game. Cybercore is just finishing up, and we'll see, I guess, what Protoss's first tech choice is.
Oh, it's
And
Stargate. Again. What a surprise.
So yeah, good old-fashioned teaching tape, pretty much.
Well, we get a good look at how the game plays out on Shakuras, right? That's a good thing.
Yeah. So I mean, I think the thing that I guess from the Zergs that I've talked to, this map feels like it is more difficult to play turtly, because like all of your potential fourth bases, and even your third really, like it's very easy for someone to set up on one of these high grounds and kind of tee off on your bases.
Yeah.
So I've heard that a lot of Zerg players want to try to spend more time on the layer tech, so more hydras and lurkers, less quick hive into cracklings and defilers and all that.
Right. Interesting.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see how Diggurd feels about that.
I mean, we
Yeah,
are
'cause I
seeing.
guess it's. Sorry, you go.
I was gonna say we're seeing different things from both players a little bit this game. Like the Pros, we're seeing forgoing that +1 air weapons, going for the faster Citadel, wants to get some of that ground force on the map. Maybe doesn't want to be sitting back at home, get some of these terrain advantages on this map instead. And we're seeing from the Zerg, very heavy drone count, a lot better droning this game than we've seen some of the past games.
Also, is there a Spire? I think there's no Spire. I think this is just going to be
Yeah.
just Hydra Den.
Yeah.
So it's actually going to skip the
Overlord
Spire.
speed either though, so I'm thinking why the fast layer then in that case. I was just thinking about why you don't go Lurkerling Defiler on this map, because it's not easy to like split up the map by occupying like, some key areas, so it's not as strong just to have big Lurker field.
Yeah, there's so many pathways to attack different bases that it's difficult to just hold an area.
But these
looks
slow
like-
zealots coming up, I don't know about this. Yeah, they need to pull back.
I mean, is there anything here for the Zerg? This Sunken, I guess the Sunken's going to be
Well,
done
there's
shortly.
Hydra that the natural can come across, and yeah, like this is a really strong SimCity. Like this looks like it's
I mean,
for.
there's more
just
zealots
finishing
coming
later.
though. This might be a good timing where the Zerg was trying to be greedy. I don't like committing so far in where he's actually getting hit with the Sunkens like this. He's taking a lot of free damage. The other zealots that came down getting caught at the natural by some of the reinforcements, and ZD taking a lot of free losses. I like the idea, but I think just overcommitted.
Yeah,
I think it was an overextension.
because that really blunts your eventual push timing when you do have speed and +1, right? If you lose 3-4 zealots here, then you kind of don't have a 730 push. I guess it is almost 730, but
Yeah, but like with less.
yeah,
zealots than it
you
would
don't.
have.
Yeah, you don't have a big +1 speed push. You know, like it's not scary anymore for the Zerg, and so they can just drone and defend with what they have.
A lot of this little microfight and speed and +1 are about to finish. These Hydras need to be careful. They think they're just going to be able to kite away and not have any issues, but finally the legs show up, and the Hydra's going to pull away instead. Zini not going to chase that down to the middle of the map, not knowing where Zerg really is.
We're getting value with this
Oh,
Corsair. Ooh, but loses it.
Well, there's
Oh, is that
another one.
another one?
Corsair
Yeah.
in the main has been there for like 3 minutes.
It's just chilling.
chilling.
It's like a UN observer Corsair, man. He's just
Right.
like, you know, it's not on anybody's side. Just wants to see what's up.
I mean, that would easily explain why the Hydras aren't going to press it either. It's like, listen, you're being cool. We'll be cool. Like we're all having a good time here.
I don't think the Zerg thinks that way. I think as soon as they notice it, they'll probably kind of destroy it.
These are some brave Corsairs. I guess Corsair's got some pretty brave voice lines. You know, they were flying around a Corsair. Like,
That's true.
doesn't seem like they'd be too worried about some Hydras.
What do they say when they arrive? Oh, well, meanwhile, these zealots engaging the Hydras again, but that's a lot of Hydras to chew through those. And you know, once again, where is the storm? It's so late here.
Yeah, this is a very late storm. He does have Dark Templar, and I don't see any Overlords here. Nor
Overlord
do I.
speed's not even
do we
started.
make
There
Overlord
isn't an
speed?
Overlord. He did not, unless it's finished. I didn't even notice. I don't think so.
Right.
But there's an Overlord here that's very low. If that one hero Corsair could return home at the key moments,
Yeah, swoop in, take out this one Overlord.
Oh, we see Purus over in the top left being a little sneaky. The probe was already there. The Hydra's not going to see it move out as they're chipping
that
away at
Corsair
this
in the
wall.
natural. Oh, okay, yikes. That Corsair almost got sniped.
Ooh, and another Sarah actually goes down in the bottom left there. He was scouting for bases. Looks like this DT is going to come up and is going to get
Ooh.
picked off in short order. Just as the Overlord goes down, though, so if there's another one, you could be safe. This is very frustrating for me, at least, as Zerg is like, when you know they have like just one DT, but you can't really do anything.
Yeah.
He's got no Overlords.
Well, he didn't make another one at the time. The first, once you finish the Temple Archives, the thing we're seeing from Zany is 1 DT, 1 High Templar. So that way he has an opportunity to get some damage done. He also has a Storm ready. Big Storm heading up there. Lots of Zealots trying to get into the
Another
fight.
Storm? We got one more Storm?
Ooh,
That's
that's a good one.
juicy Storm.
Yeah, that one's
Zealots will
doing
get
the
very
damage we
injured
need.
too, though. I think all the zealots are super low, so I don't say pulling back is a bad idea there at all.
Yeah, a lot of them took some pretty significant damage from that, but it's enough to repel the attack, give the opportunity to rebuild some cannons, get more army here. DT's remade as well, so it's going to force an Overlord to be here, which currently there's no Overlord anywhere nearby. DT's going to be able to pick away at this, but more Hydras trying to go in for the attack. Cannon's not ready for the defense, no Storms either. There's just not enough energy. This might be a chance to get something done.
We got almost similar to what happened on our Circuit Breakers game now, where diggurd, instead of going for an economic expansion after being safe with his Hydras and stuff, is going to play aggressive and just try to kind of keep getting these small groups of Hydras in and not let up on the pressure. But once again, Protoss has this third base he doesn't know about. And this time I don't know if he's going to crack the front in time.
Well, the defenses are thin. I mean, Storms are ready. Yeah, there's a Storm. But there's not many cannons up here. If Zerg can keep on the pressure before Protoss kind of stabilizes this front, he might be able to break through again.
Yeah. Very few cannons, but I mean, these Hydra armies are small. Just like not even full control groups of Hydras. Looks like we got a couple of lurkers. That'll continue the contain, but it's not really a contain because we also another thing different is we have gateways this time. For Szini, which he didn't have last time. So now we can, get a DT out on the map and go be annoying without having to break this contain at all.
You know what I want to see Protoss do in this scenario? Build up like 8 DTs and just come out suddenly and just like go sniper hatchery or something.
Well, now I know what I don't want to see.
That would be fun, but I think there's a little bit of a stop along the way. The Robo is done, but the observatory on the way. He's going to have to make observers first. It's much more pressing than trying to get a shuttle for some kind of shenanigans or try to sneak out some DTs, because there is Overlords at the front now. The DTs aren't going to be able to just come in and just cause shenanigans. More Hydras and Lurkers pushing forward. Going to keep chipping at this wall. Forge going down at the wall. Now there's a giant opening. If Zerg wants to keep pushing in, there's a lot more space to work with now. But Szini still has the expansion. There's still no signs about it, though. Here comes an Overlord. Moves aside. There's a chance. What if it sees it? Ooh, that DT off to the side. Yeah, these DTs over at the side, these could do giant damage if they can get through any detection. And the Overlord not committing all the way to the side. They're not going to see the base being taken. Oh, no.
Very unfortunate. See, there's no detection at that 5 o'clock base, is there?
No, not a drop of it. And even no Overlords being made, it's just Hydras. But the DT went a little bit the wrong way, so it's not immediately there. But man, if it goes in there, that could just be a giant killing field, killing more of the workers. And I was praising him, like, oh, the work count looks so good this game, and he hasn't made a drone since I said that. So I really should have just kept my mouth shut.
Yeah. Committed 5-hatch Hydra until he could get what he felt like is a sufficient contain, and now he's going to drop.
These lings know now. He knows there's a base here.
Well, meanwhile, Protoss is breaking out, though. He's going to kill the lurkers at the front. You can't quite kill everything, but
I think it's worth it to kill those lurkers, though.
Yeah,
3 bases
for sure.
That's a fine trade.
High energy Templar up at the front, gonna get picked off. Has to be very, very careful. We managed to get one storm off. Still has one in the bank, but is sitting at basically no health. It looks like Diggur's gonna.
Overlord has found this third. It's just chilling there.
Found it a little while ago.
Yeah, there was a little bit of a fight, but it got cleaned up by the units that are there. But Diggurd moving all the way across, giving up the contain at the natural, going for that base instead. That should be a lot easier to attack. The stuff that's in the cans and everything are much worse of a position. Storm's still going down, trying to take these fights as they can. Hydra's doing a good job slowing things down, controlling this high ground, and a nice flank to catch up some of these Protoss army that was trying to go over to defend that left base.
Yeah, I think... Sorry, you go.
Sorry, I was just saying, I'm surprised he's trying to move his army over there instead of just kind of putting... He's got enough money to just put down cannons up here, and this is up a ramp. I mean, it's going to be very hard to get Hydras up.
Oh, he's focusing that lurker with the DT. I love this move, because the DT can actually cut through that. It looks like he will deny it. Wow, that's
cheeky.
Cool. Yeah, honestly, the power dynamics kind of reversed from where Zerg thought it was, because Protoss just has a way superior economy now. Like 3 base versus 3 functional bases of Zerg, because Zerg's not mining this 4th yet. Is definitely Protoss' advantage.
This DT was so sneaky, and now he's just sitting here on break.
He's waiting for the pass. No, you'll see. He'll win this game single-handedly.
He's waiting. He's biding his time. He's got to wait till maximum drone saturation.
There's such an opportunity whenever the trigger is pulled there. Now you are seeing there is a lot of things being rallied up towards that natural again. diggurd does have 2 attacks spots to attack now, but more gateways are getting added on. szini doing a good job. The supply gap, there's plenty here. While their overlords got taken down, diggurd's not going to be able to reinforce. Going for the natural, and there's no defense here.
Yeah, I mean, I guess in the end the plan did work out. I don't see this Nexus surviving. These few zealots aren't going to be able to do this.
The storms have to be, I mean, truly godly. And it looks like behind this, diggurd built a bunch of drones. He's up to 40-ish drones.
Yeah.
Which is still not quite as many drones as you'd like at this point in the game, but you can make a lot of Hydras with 40 drones.
Wait, is he going to get in this main? Oh, there's a bunch more Protoss units coming, but not that much. Surely you can't take all this out for like rallied units just killing you, right?
I don't think so.
I think he should have went for that Nexus. You probably still get in the main if you just focus the Nexus. You probably still go up, try to get some probe kills or maybe like some tech buildings, any of this kind of stuff. But he's killing reinforcements as they pop. But you see szini, more units on the way. They're gonna be able to clean this up. And that Nexus at the National ended up not going down. This attack is doing damage, but not the damage we were expecting. And I'm not sure if diggurd's gonna be pleased with the result.
diggurd, meanwhile, does not have a lot of supply cap. It feels like he could be using more of his larva if he just had overlords to do it. Like he's only sitting at like 60 supply available.
Yeah.
And we're gonna get caught in the middle of the map too.
Oh no, these Hydras on move command. Okay, they do turn around, but still, like, what does he have left to defend right now? Some lurkers trying to morph hurriedly, but I don't know if there's time.
This feels like sunk a clock to me. But see,
Okay, well,
and this
Protoss-
DT, he's finished his whole pack of cigarettes, and he's in here. He's got 4 drones. I might get this hatchery if he's left alone for long enough. I don't think diggurd has the resources to.
Yeah, Zerg doesn't have like much army on the map to deal with this right now, and he's distracted by these zealots, and the natural going to get and do a lot of damage here as well. So it looks like this DT is probably going to clean up this hatchery.
Oh, lurker just blocks the ramp.
That's quite nice.
Just nah, zealots thought they were going to go up in the main.
I mean, still pros. Yeah, pros finding opportunities to get some damage done after finally breaking out as a contain, defending the threat of the attacks from both sides. And you've seen some pressure being thrown down at that 5 o'clock base that really doesn't have much defense here. The DT does kill off. Yeah, DT does kill that hatchery, and lots of units from szini going across the map. And look at that supply lead. This went from like pros looking like they were dangerous, and now szini's just looking as strong as they did that we've seen in some of these other games where it just gets a little bit out of control because diggurd's so focused on doing this mid-game attack, and then it just doesn't do enough damage.
szini has so many gateways now. Actually, I think he has more gateways than he can even afford to macro out of. But I mean, he'll be able to afford them soon. He's got more nexuses going down. This is
5 o'clock looks like it's gonna fall.
Looking
oh my
dire
god, these zealots going to work on these drones. Oh, drone massacre right now. Okay, a lurker or 2 comes up, and that will actually be enough to save this. But the damage is sort of done here. I mean, look how much he did. Wow.
Yeah, that's painful. I mean, diggurd does have a lot of minerals left.
He's
so if
focusing
he
the
can
hatchery.
keep the hatcheries alive, he can re-drone pretty quickly.
True. And he will keep the hatcheries alive. Of course, they're trying, but you just can't do much with one.
Another attack, szini trying to focus on the hatchery, ends up not getting it, but kills so many workers, so many units. The attack definitely does some pretty big damage, and like Packrat, you were commenting before, lots of gateways back at home, both at the main and over that left base. That natural for that top left base being taken as well. And you see diggurd trying to take more bases, but not saturated with drones, not even mining over in the bottom left. And szini's going to be able to keep putting this pressure on. As long as they don't take really terrible fights here, this situation looks so good for szini. He's going to have to throw this one a lead away for diggurd to get back in.
This is so hard as Zerg because you can't make Hydras and drones, right? You know, if Protoss just never lets the pressure up, it's very difficult to like stabilize and get to the point where you can make drones again.
Well, I think at this bottom left hatchery, he's using mostly for drones, just relying on the 5 hatches on the other side of the map to keep him alive. You know, Protoss hasn't saturated that 4th base he's taken at that natural, so his economy is actually failing right now. Nothing's mining in the main or natural. He's only mining from that 1 base. So kind of neglecting economy while he's keeping the pressure.
He's also not mining very much gas. Oh, no, he did finally take this gas, looks
Oh
like.
man, nice micro by diggurd right with those hide.
Yeah, Szini
So-
actually just lost a lot of units going across the map with some of these attacks. He's not consolidating the army he has and like making one big punch to go through and break a base open. He's trying to throw little things here and there, and that's kind of giving diggurd the opportunity to level out this worker lead, like for us lose control of the map a little bit. And diggurd, you see, actually starting to move out again, going to be able to defend some of these outer expansions. A little unfortunate for szini to just be so spread out and just these little tiny flanking attacks.
diggurd also does have quite good upgrades. He has +2 attack on his Hydras to +0 armor for the Protoss. Protoss is at 3 attack, so Lings are going to be useless for the foreseeable future. But, I mean, having no armor against +2 Hydras, they do a lot of damage.
Yeah, for sure.
Lings will be useful whenever they want to be. Hive was completed. I don't think Adrenal upgrade did get finished, but you don't need that
Well, this
armor.
Templar is on a suicide mission trying to get these drones. Never mind the big fight that's happening. Look at this Templar! Okay, no, stop. Stop looking at the Templar, he's done.
UN Observer Templar.
Oh, he's gone! No, he's not a UN observer, he's a fucking war criminal. He's gonna go.
Jesus.
You're talking about this, some other people. Can you imagine being like, you know, like a 5,000-year-old like warrior monk type guy, and they're like, okay, we need you to go zap just like a bunch of their workers.
Just
And
a
you're like,
couple
oh,
of bugs. If you get
yeah,
like
are
3 or
they
4,
really important
that'll
workers?
be
Like,
good
no,
enough.
he has like 80 of them, but we need you to zap these ones. Also, you'll probably die.
Yeah, we're gonna put you in this tiny box that zooms along at like 200 miles per hour. There's like some flying bombs chasing you that are gonna catch you in like 1 second. So you gotta like fling out of there and like land on the ground and do whatever you do in like 1 second before you get killed by 3 sunkens at once.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
This
mean,
is what you've been training for
it's
you know,
not yeah, it's not the story
Look at
you
this
want to
drone. That
pitch.
drone doesn't want to die. That drone like circled around before getting hit by that zealot. And look at that, it lives. What a hero.
Meanwhile, Hydra hit squad coming over here,
Nice.
canceling the would-be 5th. I'm not sure
Yeah,
he needs.
Protoss really needs to utilize like 12 and 1 o'clock because, 12 and 11 o'clock, because those bases are so much easier to defend given how far Zerg would have to go to get to them. Whereas this
These-
base is kind of getting in Zerg's face.
These probes are still just chilling. They're
Yeah.
just not
Yeah.
doing anything. They're all on
It's a
break.
big issue. Yeah. I
I
mean,
mean,
I'm starting to think in the long term Zerg might actually have a shot here. I thought
Zerg
Protoss
has
had this for
40
sure, but
drones. 40
It's not about
drones
the
is a
number
lot.
of drones; it's about the number mining compared. Like
That too,
Protoss has
yeah.
these 2 bases that aren't even that well saturated, but Zerg will take the bottom left eventually. I'm pretty sure. Protoss just seems to not care about 12 and 11 o'clock at all. I can only assume that he's going to continue ignoring them for the rest of the game.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm,
I mean,
I'm
I
not
think
sure.
from the
plans.
Protoss perspective, maybe you want to try to mine out 9. Like, if you think this game is going to go for a long time, you want to get 9 o'clock first because you can always get 12 o'clock later. But maybe that might be that reasoning might be fallacious.
Honestly, I don't think either player at this point wants to commit to. I think we're gonna hate this game real long. Both players committed to a lot of attacks at some point in the game, and like they just didn't work out. They gave their opponent an opportunity to come right back in. So it's like you're trying to like set up for like this ultimate late game, but really it's just I don't think either player wants to like
Yeah,
wait
they
around
both
that
wanna
long.
done this.
Yeah.
And it looks like szini is going to come in here for the, what do we call this? This is the 7 o'clock expansion.
Yeah,
Not enough to kill it, but enough to chase the drones away for the
that
time
is
being.
a big army by Zerg now, though. Oh, I want to see these storms. Okay, there's one, but doesn't do much. Storm again. Oh, shame. That Templar
Yeah.
has so much energy.
This Zerg army is looking dangerous. +2 Hydras versus
Ooh.
Archons is
And
like...
+2 armor is done now. Once Zerg gets to +3 armor and +3 missile, is actually going to be way superior. Protoss continuing to send off these small forces, but I think Zerg stabilized to the point that Protoss is just feeding him units now, and it's getting quite dangerous with how big the Zerg army is getting, how small the Protoss army is, because Protoss is not building up.
Yeah, I think Protoss kind of needs to take a minute to just consolidate all their stuff. Like,
I mean, that's kind of the
Get-
story of this series, though. Both players, like, if they just consolidated their things, but they're just constant
it's-
little
it's
attacks, they
certainly
want to
easier
have fun.
said than done. There's no F2 grab your whole army in Brood War, you know. Like,
Well,
Yeah.
Yeah, but you just see both players, like, whenever they see some kind of spot of weakness, like, ooh, this base is undefended, it's just at all costs, no preparation. It's just like, I have 5 zealots, they could go kill that base, and they just send them over.
Oh,
Like,
look at these
hope it
lone
works
Templars
out.
Going to... Is Protoss just rallying these gateways over here, or is he just continually sending?
Dude, yeah, look at this move out. We got like 2 zealots and a dragoon move out at 25 minutes. That's brave. I like that.
I mean, it kind of does seem like he just rallied his gates there.
Yeah.
Oh, that lone Templar not going to get anything done. I think it's going to get killed pretty quickly.
He's got one storm. He can be really annoying.
I was looking at a different lone Templar actually.
There's a lot of them.
Yeah, there are.
A lot of Templar on the map. A lot of lurkers over on the left side too. They're not rushing in to attack that third base, but you see Zerg is defending these attacks from szini and trying to put more pressure on. Both players are finally taking more bases. Bottom left for the Zerg. Finally, that 12 o'clock you kept talking about.
Hooray!
But now, like, it's so late in the game at this point.
Supply lead now. Zerg is up in spell. He did for a second. And there you go, even in supply. 47 drones. That's danger zone drones.
Yeah, for sure. What's the number of drones you get to where it's like, oh, Protoss was lost?
About 55, I think, is usually the amount you want. Oh, that's when you don't need to make anymore. You can afford everything in your wildest dreams if you've got 590 drones.
That DT very smartly runs away, even there's no Overlord there. It knows that Zerg will notice. So I kind of like that he's keeping it to stop this new base. But damn, look at all that Hydra lurk. And what's there to stop it? Where are the Templars?
Yeah, and still no armor for Zerg, for Protoss. So I mean,
there's one being researched. There's one being researched, but it's very far away at this point.
You don't want to go up there ever. With a maxed army, you don't want to go up there. Just go.
I mean,
2-2 Hydras versus 3-0 Zealots. Like, the Zealots didn't even get to attack.
See, I'm just so worried. You see how strong diggur's foothold is up at this by this 9 o'clock, this high ground. It's like, I never want to push into this, but it's hive tech. You're like one Defiler mound and like a Darksworn away from losing like your 12 o'clock base if you don't get control of this middle ground to a couple links. And you see some probes moving across. The Overlord's there. They're going to see it. They know that 12 o'clock base is there now for sure. And now it's just more spots in the map that Diggur could try to focus on, try to get some attacks on. Even look, Zany preemptively moving some army up there. That's going to make this 9 o'clock even weaker.
Yeah. I think it's time for Diggurd to start mixing in more Zerglings. I mean, this feels like the point in the game where you can just start go into defilers and lings. I would say.
Yeah, I mean, how many gas are available that actually have gas in them? Not that Zerg is mining from any of them on the left side of the map. He's mining from 2 depleted and 1 actual, but he could be mining from like 4 actual and 2 depleted, so he would have plenty of gas for Defiler Lurker for sure.
Yeah. I think Defiler, Lurker, and then just like lings all over the map. I mean, it's not like Protoss has really invested that much in cannons. I mean, they get to a point where Protoss has like 12 cannons.
Speaking of the Abe Simpson walk, did you see that observer? He like was heading towards the Zerg army, then saw like so many Hydrogen Overlord, just turned around instantly. Protoss coming up here with a force, although it's pretty small. You know, a lot of his army is committed to defense in other locations, and like this is really just a small section. I mean, killing a bunch of Hydras so far, not bad. Even at the cost of the Templar. Even at the cost of the Templar, I think it's worth.
Oh yeah. I think you trade a Templar for.
What a badass Templar! He stormed to save himself in the end, after all. But yeah, you don't want to fight this Lurker field. This is not going to go well.
Well, if you keep getting storms like that, maybe. Although he's stormed his own
advancing up the ramp as well. Oh,
the ramp,
no.
I think, is a mistake.
I think this whole thing is a mistake. I don't think he should have attacked at all.
I mean, at some point though, you feel Protoss is losing control of this game. I feel like the attempt to get something done, but yeah, maybe sidestep, go around that right side of the high ground, try to like get some units out of position, or just like a little harassment squad. Like DT drops, storm drops, all these things are so powerful late in the game when it's hard to keep your eyes on everything on the map.
Szini definitely comes from the never stop building Corsairs school of Protoss. There's no Spire 30 minutes in, we're still making Corsairs.
Well, they have been reasonably cost effective.
Oh yeah, they're good. I mean, I think it also like it discourages Diggurd from ever trying to go for like a Muta switch. But the fact there's no Spire means there's no Scourge. I think Storm drops or DT drops could really be hard to deal with Zerg right now. There's no static D at some of these bases.
Finally, we see Defiler mound on the way. The tech being used for Hive. We see like this could have been Ultras. This could have been Defilers. Even like Nidus Canals. Like we're seeing no use of the Hive tech from the Zerg pretty much at all here.
Well, you got 3-2 Hydras. That's the use of your Defiler. That's the use of your Hive tech right there.
Yeah, just to get the 3.
Just to get the 3-2, man.
Okay, Hydra's finally coming down here to this 9 o'clock. Looking like they want to take it out, and those 3 cannons are not going to be enough, even with that Zealot and Goon helping out. Hydras will shoot down cannons very quickly, especially with these upgrades. gosh, melting those units. But
Yeah,
Protoss
plus
Army is on the way.
3.
Yeah. I think the Protoss Army will clean this up, actually. No Lurkers coming down. Oh, but there's more Hydras on the way. There's a Storm. Nice Storm. Oh, ho, ho. That's a great Storm.
See, I zoomed out. I was expecting like a big battle there, but we're not seeing it. Zerg staying in
look
the middle
at
of the
right
map.
side of the map.
Yeah, Protoss trying to move down, get something done. You don't want to really be on the natural, but putting pressure on that 3 o'clock base, diggurd being pulled across to help defend that instead. Szini, though, trying to take these attacks. They're getting some damage done, but not a lot. And he's losing control over at that base in the left, so it's like you're trading the 3 for the 9. And at this point, I'm not sure who that favors. diggurd still seems very comfortable with how much they have. They even have enough army here. They're going to be able to defend this while putting heavy pressure on the 9.
I mean, well, I guess diggurd's pulling back, but I feel like diggurd could have actually broken the 9 o'clock there.
I think he
Yeah.
needed observers. Those couple of lurkers really ripped apart his
Yeah.
army eventually.
Yeah, I mean, 3 Lurkers over at the 3 o'clock isn't that much. The small force probably could have actually killed those 3 Lurkers. And even if you don't get the hatchery, I mean, that's pretty good value. He's killing 3 Lurkers with like 4 units.
Well, we have 3 extractors going down all at once. diggurd realized he had no
Yeah.
gas.
Oh, Lurkers coming in here. There are observers though. Oh my gosh, the probes. The probes.
Back to your comment about cans warping in. It's useless. Does absolutely nothing here. Some lurkers managed to run up to that middle line, do some damage. Hydra's got control of that base. The Zerg finally going to get some damage done, take control of one of these bases. Meanwhile, Protoss still trying to build an army, but look at the supply. diggurd now ahead by 20 and less on workers. So this army from Zerg, well upgraded, very intimidating, and finally an Ultra Den on the way. That's why he built the extractors. He remembered you need gas for Ultras.
That is, I love Ultras in CPP. But Protoss is going to say, okay, 1 for 1. I'll take out the 3 if you take out the 9.
But he's got to take out the 3. It's like you see, there's so many units still on the map.
Nah, he got this. He got this. Watch this.
I think it's gonna die, but the question is how much he has to lose to.
Oh, look at this flank though. We're seeing some movement onto the high ground. It's going to trap the Protoss army in here. It's only a couple goons and some storms. You could be able to kill the drones, but killing the buildings will be a whole nother story. Hydras get here in time. Storms doing big damage, but is it going to be enough? Still, so many Hydras alive. Another great storm being layered on top. But you see the Dragoons all down. It's just Templar now storming as much as they possibly can to try to do this. Barely getting the hatchery, so I guess you were right after all, but at what cost?
Well, you asked how much does the Protoss have to lose to take out this base. I think the better question was how much does the Zerg have to lose for Protoss to take out this base? He lost so much trying to defend that, and he still didn't get it.
Yeah, but I think Zerg can just afford to throw this stuff. I mean, all of his stuff is so quick to build, right? Like he can just, if he's got the macro set up, he can just build.
Every time I look around, I just see a random Corsair flying into our army. I'm like, why? Why is this still being made?
Meanwhile, we've had one of the Corsairs from like the very beginning of the game has just been chilling right below the 3 o'clock expansion. He's just sitting there for like half an hour.
Well, finally we're moving into that that good hive tech that's really going to help a lot of these fights. 5 defilers on the way. I don't know if the upgrades have been caught. There's a big battle that consume might have been happening during that. But if you have Plague or a Dark Swarm against these Dragoon heavy armies, like you could really start getting control. Or if nothing else, harass some of these outer bases. Looking at you, 12 o'clock, you're so ready to die to a Dark Swarm and 4 Zerglings.
The lings are at 3-3 as well, which is just so dangerous. 2-3 lings, 2-3 lings versus 3-1 zealots. They are just going to shred them.
Szini moving all of his army to that 3 o'clock, but the hatchery is already dead. It hasn't been remade, so we're seeing this big army movement, but lots of Zerg. Yeah, Zerg just all over the middle of the map. There's Hydras, there's Lurkers, there's Defilers all over the place now. Ultra upgrades on the way. Giant clump of Hydras over at that left side. And you can see Protoss, he doesn't know really where to move right now. I think the big thing is why hasn't he taken that 11 o'clock expansion yet?
He's saving it for later, man.
He just takes these 11 and 12. I mean, to be fair, he does have like 6,000 minerals almost in the bank. He can wait. You know, he can handle not having it just now.
All right, so High's been done for 20 minutes. Finally, adrenaline upgrades on the way.
Nice.
These guys have been playing such an aggressive game, both sides, so much attacking and defending, moving army around. Just key tech upgrades being forgotten about for an extended period of time would have helped us so much in some of these fights if we had these adrenaline links. But now remembering it's an option, that Ultralist armor almost done. Big fight happens in the middle. Protoss getting some decent kills here, but still the supply's relatively even for both players. Situation looking pretty decent, but still diggur's army is going to be very hard to fight now that it's super late game. All the upgrades are done. It's soon being started now. I thought maybe it was done before, but it was not apparently.
So Protoss has the army he needs, but half of it is cut off from the other half. He needs to combine or he will not win a fight here. Like, these Hydra work easily fighting the small amount of goons. They're just getting destroyed. Man, goons suck. They're such a bad unit. Like, they're just getting melted here. And he has to retreat. The other half trying to come up this ramp, but, like, that's not how you want to do it as Protoss. You don't want to be fighting small bits at a time. You want to combine your
Crack
forces.
is done.
Oh my
Some
god.
Goons versus cracklings is just hilarious.
Oh, I got a rhyme for you. I've been waiting a long time to say this one.
No, you will not ruin this game with your nonsense.
Lings surround, goons fall to the ground.
I swear you dedicate like Monday night. You sit down at like a desk, you got coffee, you're wearing like reading glasses, you got like you're twirling a pen in your fingers. Like, I gotta think of a man. Where's the inspiration? I need the inspiration.
Nah, man, it just comes. I don't have to try. It just happens naturally. Okay, Swarm going down, but the Protoss is like advancing out of the Swarm. Pretty smart, actually. He kind of negates it with his bravery, but does he have enough to fight anyway? It doesn't look like he does. Now moving back into it. Oh my god, that
like
Templar was doing some like MLG blocking of those things.
Hydras are pretty bad with Storm.
Not against cannons, they're not.
Swarm.
Against Zealots, yes. Against cannons, no. Oh, but look who's here. It's the Ultralist without speed upgrade, but they are fully speed otherwise.
Listen, we don't do upgrades here. Upgrades are not these kind of
docile, gentle space cows.
Hey, they are still they're still hefty boys. They have 5 armor. They're actually even the melee attack upgrades already up to 2, doing so much damage. Finally breaking through on this top left, and look at all these Zerg units. Half of them not even there. Most of them went to the 11 o'clock, assuming a base was there, but he got bruised on that one. That's why he didn't build it. Seeing playing 4-day chess in the future.
The Ultras just want to give you big Ultralist hugs.
Yeah, that's what those like huge arms are for.
Yeah, for hugging.
Of course.
Peaceful space cows.
Well, he's gonna get up in this main, and I think this is probably something else to really.
Well, this one Defiler is just blocking the ramp, so he's not gonna get up for a little bit.
Yeah. Even though Protoss isn't mining here, these gates are very key, I think, because Protoss can be locked into a very narrow area without this production location.
Protoss
but at the same
is
time,
a counterattack.
Yeah, such as it is, it's pretty small.
I mean, these lings are gonna be enough. These lings are gonna be enough to clear it up.
Did you see that Observer betrayal? They just got slaughtered. Oh, Templars, you can do it. You have a storm left. You can do it. Come on, man. You can save yourself. He's not going to do it. He does storm some eggs. But
Storm the eggs!
You got one.
Yes. Storm egg.
Wow, I like how these lings are just chasing a probe while the cannon's shooting. They're not even trying to get the cannon. This is just absolute chaos right now.
Yeah, I mean, there's units all over that. There's still just DTs chilling
He's
at
still
random bases.
Look, these zealots at the like 2 o'clock, just trying to fight these lurkers.
He has a whole gateway farm up in his main that's been untouched. You can macro out of that. He's got 3K, 3K.
Minerals, yeah. And Zerg hasn't taken the base on the left side of the map yet, so potentially. But I don't know. There's still so much stuff.
He's still mining from 12 o'clock. This is why he waited so long to take it, is so that he could have the minerals later.
Did he? Oh, what happened to the Corsair that's hanging around at the natural? Did it finally do something?
Oh man, that guy might have died.
It died with the 2 observers, 1 High Templar, and 3 Dragoons, like 6 lings in a storm. It was like, wait, what? What are these fights? You just see there's Zealot attack at 3 o'clock that fight lurkers protecting nothing. Like, there's just so much chaos happening over here. But diggurd maintaining an actual winning strategy in this game is I need to attack your buildings and stop you from producing or mining bases. Whereas then he keeps attacking spots. It's what's the value in sending your units here? Although diggurd's defending the spots anyway, keeps taking unit trades. diggurd just getting way more done on the map, and you see szini running out of bases. Half the production's gone over on that left side, and really you're just
so many ultras in the middle of the map now, and 3/3 lings.
Do these
3/3 lings
yet? No, they don't. These do not have speed.
Who needs speed?
You're not
He's waited 40
speed,
minutes to deliver these ultras. He can wait another couple of seconds.
Yeah, that's just right. That DT, look at this DT on the left side of the map. He's on a chase for this circle, but he just can't get it. Okay, looks like he's gonna give up. He's gonna get this circle.
got him. And now he's gonna die to 2 more Zerglings.
He was sitting there for like literally
Secret
20
Agent
minutes.
DT. Yeah, he was in there for a long time.
Damn, and he just killed 1 Ling before he died. Damn.
Oh man, these games are so brutal when you play such a long game like this. It's like you can't keep track of everything. You lose track of so much stuff.
I mean, at
Man,
least
this Zerg army looks overwhelming. There's not many storms here. There's literally 1. Oh, here he comes. That is terrifying. I don't ever want to see that advantage.
This is the cutscene from the end of the campaign, I
yeah,
think.
that's right. This isn't the alternate timeline where Tassadar didn't kill the Overmind. It's like, well, I guess all the Protoss are just gonna die.
Yeah.
I mean,
They
really,
Shakura finished him off.
Yeah, that's right.
Szini needs to invest in some of that, like, anti-ultralist, like, armies, some of those Reavers, some of those DTs, those high-power units. Yeah, that was a very good game for both players. diggurd managed to take the series out 2-1, and I love that
He worked for it.
Yeah, he worked for it, that's for sure. But I love when you see...
I'm gonna need a 1-minute break after that one.
You're all good, man. Go take your break. But I still... Playing, like, a 40-minute game and not just being crispy on all edges. Like, my brain doesn't work anymore. Like, man, it's just like, oh no, I gotta make these units. And it's like, even things are getting delayed, but at the end of that, like, oh yeah, Plague, I need Plague. I saw it getting researched. I don't know if it got finished before the game was over. But just trying to work your way through all these things is so difficult when the game goes on, like, way beyond anything you practice more than, like, once a month for one time.
Yeah, especially things that you can miss, because, like, you know, if you don't get to late... I mean, it seems like diggurd is a somewhat aggressive-minded player. If you don't get to late game that often, you can realize suddenly at 30 minutes in, like, oh yeah, I never got adrenal glands. Like, could have had that 20 minutes ago, you know? Like, but it slips your mind, and then you don't have it for forever.
Yeah, but, I mean, still, it was a fantastic series we saw from both players. We got 2 more series heading up for the rest tonight. Next up, we're gonna end up having Kneehead as a Protoss player versus Max. It's gonna be Max. I'm not even trying. Like, if you had 6 A's to your name, I'm not trying. So that would be a Protoss versus Protoss, and then the final game of the night, I saved it for last because I know both these guys, old CPL heads. We got a Brew